In today's video, I'm going to take you on a tour of the kitchen garden here in mid-February on the UK south coast. And at the end, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I've got going on indoors too. Welcome to Grown Frugal, and if this is your first time here, welcome. And on this channel we're all about learning how to live a lower cost life by growing food, by learning how to cook with the food that we grow, and also how to store food and grow all the way through winter so that we're able to live a simpler, happier life and reduce our food bills at the same time. And today I've dashed outside because this is the first day in what feels like weeks that we haven't had rain. We've had enormous storms here in the UK. So what I'm going to do today is take you around the raised beds again and show you exactly what's going on. They've been quite neglected because I haven't wanted to come outdoors because of all the storms. And then at the end, I'm just going to show you what I've started off growing indoors here in February, which includes a little progress update for my tomato growing series for beginners, and I'll create a link to that. So let's do it. Let's go around the garden and see what's still growing and all the jobs that I have to do as soon as there's a longer break in the weather. Maybe this weekend, please. So let's start with the small metre by metre raised bed. Just give you an update. So at the front of the bed here's still my lovely lettuce doing fantastically well. Here's the red Grenoble. I did a big pick of that earlier in the week and it's ready to go again. Really nice lettuce, so I'll be getting this fully picked today for our week's supply of lettuce. Such beautiful leaves. And then behind them we've got the Winter Marvel lettuce, again doing really well. Both of these now here in February are really great lettuce actually. Getting lots of growth back really quickly after picking, and the mix of these two leaves is really great because the red's got a bit of bitterness and this green one is a sweeter taste to it. Both super easy to pick, especially now they've grown on a bit. The stalk gets exposed and it becomes easier to pick the leaves as you go on. Beautiful. Now going back into the rest of the bed, we've got the pink Chards starting to really take off now. You see those colours? I've got a little baby one behind it, and this Chard's going to need its room now, so I will pot that one on and put it either somewhere else or give it to a neighbour. And then we've still got spinach growing, and this is coming much faster now, so I can regularly pick these spinach leaves, get those into curries and soups and stews. Lovely. Then we've got another Chard here at the back, that beautiful colour. And then the one that's really picked up, I think since last time, is this lovely golden Chard. So that's really starting to get big now. And that's I've already been picking from this one. All doing well. As we're going past, I'll just show you the little Bathtub Pond. It's taken a bit of a hammering in the storm, and some of the plants have discarded their kind of spiky leaves, but it's doing all right. It's still there, still providing shelter for the wildlife. And then we've got our old log pile and various toad and amphibian houses around and about to give a little bit of shelter to the lizards and the frogs. There's another one under there. Okay, now the wind's getting up, so let's speed this up a bit and go around this raised bed. I've just lifted the mesh up so I can get the camera in and show you what's happened here. This lovely plant here is a Spigariello plant, this brassica broccoli style plant without heads. And I honestly haven't been out in the garden because of the storm, so I haven't been picking. And look how much this has taken off. So it's gone absolutely bananas while the storms have been happening. But unfortunately, Spigariello is going to seed. Starting to get little seed pods on. So, as my grandmother would have said, it doesn't owe me anything, this plant. It's been amazing all through winter, but now it's going to seed, and that means these leaves will start going tough. So I will be doing a quite big harvest of these, And I haven't decided quite what I'm going to do with this yet, but I might dehydrate the leaves because I've not done that before for these. And that would give me a lovely green powder for smoothies. But I am going to do a big harvest this weekend if the rain keeps away anyway. And then in the rest of this bed, we've got some brassicas, lovely healthy Cavolo Nero growing there, ready to pick from actually. And we've still got this little, rather beautiful but still small curly kale, I think. And some more purple kale here. I think that's what it is. I think it's red Russian kale. And then if you notice at the back there, something is missing. Have you been watching my videos closely? What's gone? Well, I've now harvested the rest of the autumn leeks. So the leeks came out. They actually didn't have as much rot on them as I thought. They were still in pretty good nick. I had to trim more than usual, I'd say. But the biggest problem with the leeks when I dug them up, and it was very wet soil, which isn't ideal, is that there were loads of really tiny slugs and snails in between the layers towards the top of the leek. It was gross. There were scores of these little critters in the leeks, so quite a lot of preparation and quite unpleasant. And it's not the best thing to be harvesting on a rainy day, but sometimes we just have to harvest. So that's that bed. These will be cleared out and we're going to have lots of room there for growing on our next plantings as we're coming into the season now. So let's take a look at the brassica bed, and this is much improved from last time. So let's start at this end, and what you're seeing here is the garlic. And in the last video in January, the second row here was only just starting to shoot up, but as you can see now, we've got some really healthy looking shoots coming up from the garlic, and the homegrown planted garlic from last year's crop continues to grow. Looks quite healthy. It's got a bit of yellowing on the end. I think that was when I fleeced it over and it got a bit damp in there, which was a mistake I made, but I think they'll survive. So all looking good. I've got my sheep's wool mulch all around the garlic now, keep it protected just in case we get any snow. And then this is the biggest difference in this bed. So last time I was telling you that I was having real trouble with this brassica bed. Everything was getting eaten, all the seedlings. I was having to constantly replace them with little plugs from a mixed batch that I got. But thankfully, here in February, the brassicas have finally taken hold, and I can now be much more confident that we will have a crop. And oh, what a relief that is. And this is all part of gardening. You just don't know sometimes what's going to happen, especially when you're quite new like me. People tell me I'd never be able to grow anything in this coastal garden, but as you can see, we just carry on and nature will find a way. And then finally, let's have a look in this covered raised bed before the wind gets any higher. So let's get this open. Sorry about the noise, that's the flapping of the polythene as the wind is really getting up today here on the coast. So the chard is going really well, the golden chard looking delicious. And then I still have fennel left to eat. This fennel's been a bit disappointing. It looks amazing, but actually when I cooked up that lovely big bulb, it really didn't have much flavour. It looks great, but there's something amiss in how I've grown the fennel this year. Maybe because it was so late going in and I've let it sit for so long over winter, but a bit of investigation needed on that. Not as fennel-like as I would like. And then turning around in this bed, this jungle is rocker. It has gone to seed, and I'll get that cleared as soon as we get some clear weather. And we've got some lovely chard growing in this end of the raised bed. Look how glossy these leaves are. I haven't eaten any of this quite rare chard yet. It needs to get a bit bigger. It won't be long, but as you can see in the background there, the golden chard is taken off just like in the other bed. So that is already happy to be picked, and we'll just keep on growing now and will last for months. It's a brilliant crop to grow. I think it's a bit intimidating knowing what to do with it, so I will be doing quite a few recipes this year to help you work out what to do with chard, because because it's a brilliant money-saving crop to grow, and because it lasts ages, it's low maintenance. But I know myself, I used to find it really intimidating knowing what to do with it. So I'm going to get creative with chard this year. If you have this chard problem, get subscribed and follow along with me as I'll trial some new recipes out. And then right here is a lettuce I've literally just shoved into the ground. There were two of them I found sitting in my cold frame, dry as anything, just sitting in a module. I'd never got round to planting them out, but you know what, they're still okay. So I thought, well, I'll plant them out because these lettuce will end at some point, and maybe if they survive here, they'll give me a little continuation crop. So never give up on your seedlings. It may well be worth planting them. So let's see how they grow. And then at the end, once again, look at this beautiful red Grenoble winter marvel. These are winners for growing in the winter in this climate anyway, and just like the ones in the other bed, these are ready. So I'll be picking and getting those into the fridge so that we have a massive amount of salads ready to eat this week. So that's this raised bed, all happy. Need some clearing out of my neglected rocket. That's gone right up there to finish the final fennel, and then we can let the chard grow up until we've got more crops to go in later in the season. Right, the wind's really starting to get up now, so let's get indoors and I'll show you what's gone on with my new plantings so far. Okay, so let's see what we've got going on indoors. So the first thing I want to show you is my tomato seedlings. And if you're following along with my Beginners Grow Tomato series, these are the seeds that I sowed only a week ago. And look at them. I don't think I've ever had seeds germinate so fast and get into seedlings like these. It's amazing. So partly probably the quality of the seeds themselves. I use real seeds and they're a great supplier, but probably also to do with the compost, the seed compost I'm trialing from this local company here in Brighton. So that's where the tomatoes are up to. So the other thing I've got going on I wanted to show you was that I am chitting potatoes here on the windowsill. So I've got these seed potatoes, two varieties. One is called Piccolo Star, and I kept the bags for the names. And one is Sherry, French First Early. And I picked these up at Seedy Sunday. It's a seed share event in Brighton and it's fantastic. And I don't grow many potatoes here, so I'll just grow a few containers with these 8 seed potatoes that I have. And that will satisfy my potato growing urge, and it's fantastic to have a few new potatoes coming in. But they aren't one of those crops that's good value if you've only got a small kitchen garden like mine. I'm much better off growing crops that cost a fortune in the shops, like tomatoes and salads, than potatoes, which use just too much room for those of us with a small garden. But potatoes grow very well in pots, so you can always grow a few, and there is something lovely about it. So chitting is really just letting the potatoes sprout, and it's quite contentious whether it actually allows your potatoes to be harvestable early. Everybody seems to disagree, but I think at this time of year we're just desperate to do something, and so there's no harm chitting your potatoes. If it doesn't save any time, I really don't mind. I still like sitting here and seeing something grow in this cold, wet month. So at this stage we have potatoes chitting and we have some tomato seedlings growing, and this weekend I'm hoping to be doing a lot more planting, and this windowsill is going to get quite busy because I'm going to be planting up some chilies and probably a next batch of lettuce. And then there are some other things I can't remember now, but I have my fantastic seed storage system and box, and I know that when I open that I can take out February's compartment and I'll know exactly what I need to get sowing for the rest of February. So that's it for the February garden tour. Dylan's asleep, he slept through the whole thing. And don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed going around the kitchen garden. And please subscribe so you can follow along as we go through this new season. And I'll see you next time.